Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to Columbia University. My name is Caroline. I'm a junior at Columbia, and I'm so excited to be leading you guys on this virtual tour of Columbia's campus today. Today's video will be part one of a two-part series, just because there's a lot to cover and so little time. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so we're gonna start off our tour through an aerial or a bird's eye view of Columbia. And this is something that's really nice about Columbia, because if I zoom out just a little bit, you can specifically see where Columbia is. Students can come back from a long day in their research lab or from a long day at an internship downtown and come back to a place called home. And we're gonna start at this specific location here, 116th Street and Broadway. And this is where the Broadway Gates are. And we're gonna see what that looks like. So essentially, if you're coming in and you're moving in by car, your car is gonna be able to drive through this area here onto what's known as College Walk. It's gonna be super nice because your new student orientation program, or NSOP orientation leaders, are gonna be standing along the sides and cheering you on and helping you move in. So that's how you move into your individual dorms. And if we zoom out just a little bit more, this entire walkway is going to be called College Walk. This bottom here is Broadway and this top is Amsterdam Avenue. So these trees here are physically there. This is like what College Walk is known for, the beautiful trees. In the wintertime, the tree lighting ceremony is a huge thing at Columbia, where all of the trees, they don't have their leaves anymore, which is really sad, but lights are put on them, and everyone, all the undergrads or most of the undergrads, stand here around this area and count down to when the trees are lit up, and it's just a really beautiful experience. And in the wintertime, New York can get dark really early, and so having these trees lit up really makes for a super warm experience. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit more, and we're at the Sundial now. Like, there literally is supposed to be a sundial here, but I think they removed it and just never put it back. But it's just an icon that we leave there, no questions asked. If we look to the right, this area here is known as Southfield. We can see that this is South Lawn, and this is where the first year residence halls are. And we can see Butler Library, which is the icon of South Lawn. And let's take a look inside. And right here is the reference room. I think it's Lawrence A. Wien reference room, but we just call it ref. Students come and study for late nights and have lots of coffee, and it's a good bonding experience, I feel. And I think this was taken pretty recently because people are wearing masks here, and you can see the social distancing measures being practiced. We're doing online school, but there are still people who are living on campus and accessing the libraries. And let's leave the library. Let's think about studying a little bit later. Okay, so now that we're back out, let's talk about the residence halls that are by here. This dorm over here is known as John Jay. It's relatively social, but it's also known for its singles. So you get some privacy and you get some really close-knit lounge culture. Lounge culture just meaning that on each floor, there is a centralized lounge where people hang out. So it's a nice way to get to know people if you want to make a close-knit group of friends. The thing is, John Jay does not have AC. Maybe in the lounges, there's like one AC unit, and potentially that's why people are so close-knit, because they're all hanging out in the lounge. While we're talking about the residence halls, let's also talk about the dining halls. If you were in person, you could look inside. I always say this is a Harry Potter style dining hall. So when everyone was back on campus, you would just swipe in, get your food buffet style, sit at a table, and have your dinner or lunch or breakfast. If you go downstairs into the basement, that is what we call JJ's Place. And JJ's Place is open 22 hours a day. So that's where you can get your snack fix when you're hungry and you're studying at Butler. You could just walk over. This is like a 2-minute walk, literally. They have burgers, they have pancakes, they have a whole bunch of really good but potentially not very healthy food there. That's what people go to JJ's for. But they do also have a salad bar that kind of balances out the health and the non-health. So every Columbia student knows what JJ's is. If you say it, they'll love it. And yeah, so those are two of our dining halls. This is Wallach, and this is Hartley Hall. So I lived in Hartley my sophomore year, and that was because I did the LLC, which is the Living Learning Center. So as a sophomore, I lived in a suite, which essentially means you have a variety of singles and doubles, but you share a kitchen and you share a bathroom space, and there's potentially like stairs leading upstairs. So it's like 2 floors to a suite. For Hartley, those are where the suite style things are. For Wallach, it's more corridor style. So you get like singles and doubles in a corridor. And if it's wintertime and it's cold and you don't want to take this route outside to John Jay, there's actually a door that leads from Hartley to Wallach, and you can like walk past there. And technically Wallach is connected to John Jay, so you don't have to leave your building if you want to go get food. Like all of these 3 places are connected. So now that we've talked about John Jay, Wallach, and Hartley, let's take a look at the other side of South Lawn, which is going to be Furnald and Carman. So those are the 2 other first-year residence halls. So here is Furnald. And I lived in Furnald my first year, so I would highly recommend to anyone who wants a quiet space to live, a clean space to live, and a room with AC, because Furnald has AC, which is super, super nice for the summer. I lived in room 411, kind of got a view of Shake Shack. So Shake Shack is like somewhere here. The first floor has this really, really nice lounge, and there's a fireplace. I've never seen like fire actually there, but it's just a fireplace that looks really nice. There is a lounge on each floor. I know for floor 4, it was always super crowded in there because one of my friends on the floor had friends from John Jay, and they would come over and play video games, Mario Kart, even cook together, which is really nice because the Furnald Lounge has a kitchen. The very top floor, the elevator does not reach to. So if you're on the very top floor, you might have to carry your luggage up the stairs. And if we move a little bit to the left here, this is gonna be Carman. The outside does not look like the inside at all. The inside, on the renovated floors at least, looks like a hotel. They also have AC. So in Carman, most of the suites are composed of 2 doubles. So if you want a roommate and to live in a suite, then Carman is a good place for you. It is where most of the first year parties happen. So Carman is a very social dorm, and you guys get your own bathroom within each suite. And I think it gets cleaned. I'm not sure how often, but it does get cleaned. On the very bottom, the basement of Carman, there is another huge lounge. It looks very modern. And next to the lounge is a kitchen and a laundry room. So now that we've spoken about the residence halls, let's talk a little bit about the buildings that you should know. So first up is Lerner Hall. From this image, you can't really tell. Actually, you might be able to tell. This is all made of glass. So that's what Lerner is known for. It's known as the glass building on campus. And the entrance to it, at least the student entrance to it, is over here. So we can just walk in. There is an area where we don't need to swipe in to access, and that is going to be the cafe area. So anyone can access here. The area that you do need CU ID or Columbia University ID to access is just like the rest of the building. So in here is kind of like the student activities center. There are actually these ramps that go up and down. This is where a lot of the student group tabling happens, but also if those tables aren't taken up, you can also just sit there and do your homework and watch everyone just walk by on the ramps. In Lerner, there's also a place called Ferris, which is our 3rd dining hall besides John Jay and JJ's. Ferris personally was my favorite dining hall to go to, especially for my first year. There's a salad bar, there's a pizza bar, there's an omelet station in the mornings. They also do have a vegan or vegetarian station, which a lot of the dining halls actually do. So fun fact, Columbia Dining was actually ranked #1 in America. I think a large part is because of the different types of foods that are served and the accessibility of all these foods. All right, so that concludes part 1 of the 2-part series of Columbia's campus tour. I really do hope that some of the video clips and some of the personal insights that I've shared helped you to understand Columbia a little bit better from a student's perspective. Be sure to check out my other college playlists that I will link in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!